Alright, so look, God is here. What's on your mind? What you want to bring to the people's attention?
Uh, Alright, so pretty much growing up, I didn't get the kind of love that I expected to get in life. I want people to understand that everything that a person goes through in life happens for a reason. And, like, regardless of the reason, whether they know it or not. Because honestly, I don't know what my reason is a lot of times. When I make music, I kind of just, like, I write down some shit and then I'm just thinking, I know it has something to probably do with my subconscious or some shit like that. I'm not sure, but I don't know. I love music. I grew up loving music, and the best way to express myself was always with words because I felt like if I ever said it, that I was going to stand on it. So that's pretty much.
Alright, so you just said you grew up with music, so like where are we starting from? What's our starting point? Where'd you jump off the porch?
Alright, with music, my family is full of old heads, and they love music. Like, I'm talking about soulful music, like Anita Baker, Marvin Gaye, like, and not necessarily even mainstream people, but I listen to the mainstream people because that was mainly who was on the radio. So, like, but like when I ventured off into my own little older music, I actually listened to rock and roll. Like, I love rock and roll kind of music. It's expressive, and it's like, it's not too loud for me, but it doesn't always make me like calm and soothed. It makes me, want to like revolt or something, do something powerful. So that's what I listened to growing up, and like that's what kind of stuck with me the most. That's actually what influences a lot of my music. Like, I listen to a lot of soulful stuff.
So who are your biggest influences? We'll count me out 5.
Far as music wise,
Your
I'd say,
biggest, as soon as you hear them, it's like, yeah.
well, running the game right now, as far as like new industry music, I'd say XXX. Like, that is my idol right there. Like, I wouldn't say an idol, but like if I had to like get to know him and actually talk to him and shit, like, that's my dude right there. The music that he puts out, it explains real situations. It's not about actually being hype or being turned up or being anything. It's just about being genuine with yourself. He actually doesn't even do any drugs, to be honest. So
That's an interesting choice because he's a very controversial person himself.
yeah. I mean, but controversy comes with anything. Like, you hear something, if you don't fully understand the meaning of it, you're constantly gonna be in, I guess, up in awe about it. Most people aren't really like, I don't know, they don't want to take the time out it takes to understand something. If it doesn't like automatically sink in or click with them, then they're kind of just like, alright, fuck it, it's a wrap. But that's why I think music has to be expressive in this point. Music has to actually convey what the heart does, what the heart is, how it moves, how it functions, how the mind and the heart work together, how everything like just transpires into one. Like, everything's about like a balance, and with music I've kind of found that balance. And the way I want to convey the balance that I found, to kind of be like a not necessarily like an older sibling, but how I want to be like an older sibling to people, how I want them to see the world, how I want them to experience the world, how I want them to understand and how to deal with things that I've went through. Because if somebody would have gave me, like, one of the lines in my songs is 17 years I was trapped in a room, the world was a cave and my mind was the tomb. Like, that was some real ass shit, because to be honest, I spent all the way up until I was like 17 and went into foster care. Like, that was as long as I had ever like been by myself. I had no friends except for at school. Like, I had nothing except my thoughts to keep me company. And that was like when I got to a point of, damn, I gotta get out there. Like, I wanted friends and I wanted to be out there, and I knew how to like interact with my friends. I just never had the means of doing it. And that's when I finally was like, alright, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna step outside my boundaries. And I ended up actually being homeless during that time. That was when I found a lot of my friends that I found. And they've been there for me through a lot. And like, they can, my music, when I play it for them, I always go to them because they give me the best like advice. Like, oh bro, this is hard, this is not, you need to work on this more, you need to fix that, you need to fix this. So it's always constructive criticism there. And I appreciate that the most, because it makes me better, and I want my music to get better over time, because the way I'm writing is how my mind is also thinking about things and seeing things. Because I say my biggest influencer of the music that I write is like, my music kind of like me reaching out for help in a way, but like not the way that.
So it's genuine.
Yeah, it's very genuine, but it's also, I'm not the only person in the world going through that situation. So like, that's where ego comes into play at, because like, if I was rapping for ego and I was rapping or like trying to like put out music for ego, it would be me constantly bragging on the things that I've done or the things that I've had or different things like that. But it's not about that. It's about the root of where I started and how I'm growing. It's a growth. It's pretty much, and I didn't grow up with my biological mom, so I kind of wanted her to be able to see me transition over the time that I've been away from her. But I also wanted like the people around me to know that even though I have this soul deeply rooted issue, I'm still understanding and I'm still comprehending the things that you guys are putting out there. I'm still understanding how you guys how you guys deal with your stress. Because honestly, growing up by yourself, you feel very detached from people. Like there's when you come in contact with people, you kind of don't even know how to act, and like you just become this object of, I guess, of your environment. And I don't want to be an object of my environment, so I made sure I put it in my music to let people know it's okay to be different, it's okay to stand out. And I feel like that's what music is about. It's about making sure people stand out. It's about making sure people are, they don't ever have to feel alone in their mind, because I think loneliness is something that like kills a lot of us. Like loneliness will kill you before someone else ever does, and it's like that's the crazy part. And I wanted my music to represent that. Honestly, growing up, I never started out, I never smoked, I never did anything. I grew up in a Christian household. I was not raised to do any of the things I decided to do once I got older and make decisions for myself. Never did any of those things. I was, like I said, I was closed off. But it was like, I couldn't explain the pain that even got me started to like actually even get into that life or that realm of life. I can't put that into words, but I'd say that far as when it comes to this music and stuff, and when it comes to anything regarding music is always a serious matter. And I feel like the most trusted thing I can trust is somebody who's already gone through the experience. If they've had to go through the experience. But some people have gone through that experience, but they kept it to themselves. I know a lot of people who they have the mentality of, I'm just gonna keep it to myself. I'm just gonna, and I don't feel like that's kind of like when people say about the Illuminati. Oh, you can da 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 with the Illuminati and all this other shit. But the thing that they don't even understand about it is like these people would have to have something important that they would want to keep to themselves. I don't think they have anything important that they want to keep to themselves. And I'm not a secretive kind of person. I'm actually very open. Like when people come talk to me, they're like, oh, you look so mean, you look so this. I'm not mean. I'm honestly chilling. I'm just relaxed. Like, I'm big on protection. I'm big on, like, being keen to what's going on around you. And, like, that's because I'm an older sibling. I'm the oldest out of all my siblings, so I have to make sure they learn from me. And I know some people out there, they don't actually have an older sibling. They don't have, or their sibling passed away, like, different things like that. So it's kind of just like, people need someone that's going to be there to teach them the right way to live life and to be able to interact with people, because human interaction has become a very complicated thing and most people only speak the language of music. So
all right, understandable. Before we wrap this up, where do you want music to take you? What are you putting the efforts in for? Where do you see yourself going with the music?
Well, with music, for me, music is it's an outlet. It's always just been like an emotional outlet for me. I'd make music even though if no one listened to my music. I do it now. Like, I don't really care if anybody listens to my music. You don't have to feel what the fuck I'm saying for me to put it out there. I'm not trying to impress anybody or prove anything to anybody.
So you make it just because you want to make it?
Yeah, no, I definitely make it just because I want to make it. But far as my music, though, goes, if I had to say if I got anywhere because of my music or anything like that, I have big plans for my music. I want to start programs for, kids around the country to be able to finally have a safe space. I want people to actually be able to understand the concept of kids have to have an outlet for what they feel. If kids don't have an outlet for what they feel, they will end up trying to kill themselves, like different things like that. I've tried multiple times on several occasions, and when I realized it wasn't working, that's when I thought maybe I need to release some of this emotional hurt that I feel, that I tell myself I don't feel. And that was when I got to the point of, if I'm ever going to make music and if I ever got anywhere for music, of course, yeah, I'm taking care of my family. I'm taking care of people who looked out for me. I'm taking care of all that shit. But I can also take care of those people by, like, just working, like, doing the shit on the side. Like, to me, music isn't everything to life. There's something that you have to learn outside of music that comes with you understanding that music does mean a lot, but it's not everything. Because music doesn't pay the bills, music doesn't do any of that thing, like of those things. It's more of a people kind of like, people always think people luck up on their music. It's not necessarily you luck up on your music. you connected enough with a lot of people. Music is also business, and that's what I kind of like about what we're seeing nowadays in today's society with the music industry. Like, you'll see a lot of people complaining about, oh, this company did this to me, this company did that to me. That's why I'm also making this video, because it's important for people to want to go out there and do their own and accomplish their own things. There's so many people that I've come into contact with, like, over the last 2 years, who now have so much drive to accomplish their own. They want to establish everything themselves, because at the end of the day, people will take something from you and they will take it with no hesitance. They have no problem doing it. And at that point, that's when you have to understand the concept of life. It's life or death. Living on earth isn't necessarily life or death, but passion is life or death. How much you put into something, how much you want to give a situation, how much you want to sit there and elaborate that situation to people, no matter how long it takes. That's passion, and I care about passion more than anything. And in my music, I'm still finding my passion, but I'm definitely learning through hearing myself talk what my passion is.
When I was your age, I got sad. A lot. I didn't come from such a great home, but one day I started running, and that seemed to make sense, so I just kept running. When you get sad, you run straight ahead, and you keep running forward no matter what. There are people in your life who are going to try to hold you back, slow you down, but you don't let them. Look behind you. There's nothing for you.
Shadows settle on the place that you left. Our minds are troubled by the emptiness.
Taylor about the fucking flex.
Trapped in my mind, I can float away. Be with my demons and take a break. They see me, I never have to hide. Tell them all my secrets, yes I can fight. They say hello, how are you today? I greet them with sadness. My madness fuels the passion. I'm passive.